What are we talking about?
Now we are live.
We are live.
Why are we live?
I don't know, because Borak hit the live stream button, so we're live on LinkedIn. Hey, everybody. Welcome to our building blocks call, where we will talk about what kind of blocks we can build for upcoach in our spare time. So yeah, let's see. We have like 4 minutes until people come. Let me open up our agenda. By the way, random thing, totally off topic. I cannot log into Love Not Fear, the upcoach account. But I can, even when I go to the program switcher, I can't log in there. Somebody hacked me.
Can you send me the domain or message, the address?
Lovenotfear.com. And then click on.
Okay. All
right, let me open up. Had a great call with Bigger, Bolder, Braver today. It's like they do help coaches to learn how to market themselves properly. And it was really cool, actually. And was chatting with her on potentially making a course, a very quick course that helps people to figure out, for example, somebody wrote a book. How do they turn this into a course? How do they turn this into a one-on-one coaching? How do they turn this into a cohort-based coaching? Things would be a super valuable thing to put together.
David, it would be a classic, but it works for me. Anyways, yeah, that would be awesome. You know, even if not a book, but our course, turning into
somebody. Let's say somebody wrote a book already. We had somebody on the call. He wrote a book, and then he's like, "Okay, how do I turn this into a course? How do I, it's kind of also learn like which coaching style or what really works for you. You know, like for example, having a community, is this the right thing for you? For me personally, Managing Happiness community is not my thing because I don't like to be that active in there. Upcoach community works great because we're all active in there. You know, so kind of what do you want? With Upcoach, you have like all the possibilities in the world, but like which things do you really want to pick that make the most sense for you personally? You know. So, and she does this, so maybe we can do some collaboration where she
that's
do this thing together with her. So yeah. Let's see. 1 minute.
You have Claire.
Hey, Claire. A very German last name, Claire. Sommer. All right, Mert. How about we just get rolling?
Yes, let's do it.
So what number of calls is this? This is building blocks call number 3, 4?
4.
This is the 4. This is the fourth.
All right. Welcome to building blocks call number 4, where we talk about new apps, add-on apps, applications that we build for the upcoach platform, and we build them in public. So we'd love to have you give us feedback. And this is being live streamed to LinkedIn and to a few other places. If you want to join the Zoom call, I guess, Burak, are you in Restream, Burak?
Yes, we are restreaming right now on Facebook, YouTube,
LinkedIn.
and LinkedIn.
Beautiful. So if you want, you can post the Zoom link so people can also join us here.
Hey, Dan.
Like Dan just did. What's up, Dan? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah,
Hey.
me too.
Little off topic, but Dan, I think you'll appreciate this. Mert, Jamal, one of our other team members, and I will meet tomorrow morning to discuss outwitting the devil and like book club style, kind of like tackling this.
Yeah. Nobody wants to be a drifter, right? So
Yeah,
That's right. Cool. So yeah, building blocks topic. We on the last call or after the last call, we decided to work on an automated check-in block, which we spec'd out and started working on, but there are some technical limitations that made it hard to fully build out this block. So initially, first, we'd like to go over that and get some feedback from you to see what you think. So we can, share what we have spec'd out so far to make the spec perfect. Then we'd also like to talk about something we talked with Dan about, is like some OKR check-in block, and also actually a few topics. Gallery block is another thing we'd like to talk about.
Documentation block.
And the
That's not
documentation block,
The wiki
which
block.
we've spec'd something out. So Mert, any preference what to start with?
Yeah, let's first start with the automated check-in, what happened and what's going to happen with that. And so the main idea is like, again, to remind what we are doing here. We are building apps, custom apps on upcoach platform that provide blocks to the programs as a functionality. And we are doing our best to scope these ideas into something that can be implemented in 2 weeks. All right. So last week in the latest building block call, it was an interesting, very creative call, like almost 70 minutes. At the end of the call, there were 2 options remaining, and the most exciting one was automated check-in, a group check-in functionality. So we started thinking about it, and then we came up with this brilliant idea that, hey, let's build a block that utilizes upcoach's forum block. So the main idea is that in this new block, you create a question and schedule it like every Friday or every morning at 9 a.m. Ask this question to program members. And then this block just submits publishes a post on the forum at that specified time and sends a reminder to everyone, so we can utilize the already existing discussion capabilities like commenting, attachments, engagement, likes, and etc. of the existing forum blog. So we started with this idea, but then it turned out that it's too hacky. Like too many moving parts, and it started to not make any sense. And especially I did not feel good about this, because I really like to scope everything down to something deployable in 2 weeks, but that has to be something usable functionality wise. So then we talked with David, and then, okay, so if we are not comfortable with this idea, let's not push for it. Let's do something else. And then we came up with this already existing idea we discussed a few weeks earlier, a wiki or documentation block, which we will touch in a few minutes, I believe. So we right now push the pause button on the automated check-in, and we will get back to it once we have more capabilities on our extendability options on upcoach platform, basically. So this is where we are with the automated check-in block.
How about we just like straight jump into the mind map that you have prepared?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I have one that. Does everyone see this mind map?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is basically had this idea from like early on, the first days of we introduced the custom apps, etc. I already have a brainstorming session shared on the forum, a Loom session where I talk about this, a different version of this. But so this is basically a documentation app on top of upcoach. It allows coaches to write documents, pages, a knowledge base, let's say knowledge base articles, and put them under folders or categories. And you can manage all these knowledge base articles or wiki articles in your admin area. You can see all of them, browse through them, etc. But the key point here is this app provides two blocks. The first block is that you drag and drop this knowledge base wiki block into your program and choose which categories you want to be available inside the program. So your clients can see those categories and the articles inside those categories. So they can click around and then click on the document and read the article in a full screen experience, and even share the link.
One thing to put it more into coaching terms, I guess, this would be a resource library of the resources that you want to provide to your audience / customers.
Yeah, you can, maybe not in the first version, but you can definitely upload files or attach files or resources to these documents and share them. So this is the document listing block. Basically, you choose which categories to display inside, and then clicking on a document opens it in full screen mode. Also, you can share links to those documents with your clients. And then this app can provide a second block. This is where it gets interesting. The second block is a single document block. So you drag and drop this into your program and choose a document, and it gets embedded inside the document program. The key here is if you embed the same document on your all programs, for example, and you make a change in this document, it gets updated everywhere that you embedded this document into. So, and writing these documents are like, basically you have a capable rich text editor where you can inline videos, images, maybe even tables, and some other stuff too. So this has a side effect like this.
Another positive side effect, this from a very internal plumbing perspective, introducing this full screen capability will then also allow us to have these full screen capabilities on other elements of upcoach, like smart documents, etc. Because once we have this capability, we can kind of like, it's not with the snap of a finger, but then we can implement this everywhere.
Yeah, and this is also one of the core values we are chasing, right? When building these things, we want to improve what we already have so we can reuse what we improved in the other areas of the application too, whether it's a custom app or the core product. So yes, definitely it's a great side effect. And then as we have a document view, which is the full screen view of this document where your clients can read it and etc. They can save these as PDF and then share the links if you allow it to be shared. So this is the very essence of the idea, let's say. I also have a more extensive version of this mind map, which I did a few weeks ago. It has lots of features, but I think this is something that we can deploy in 2 weeks. So yeah, this is what I'm excited about recently.
Thoughts?
Yeah, would
Feature
love to
requests.
hear feedback, your thoughts on this.
I've got a question.
Sure.
Hey,
Go
James,
for it, James.
go.
Hi, how does this differ? It sounds very similar to the forum block, just kind of packaged differently. How is that different? If they are similar enough, would there be a way just to basically superpower the forum to also
Yeah.
become a wiki and
Yes.
and utilize the same.
Yeah, this is a great question, and this is a theme that we face very too often. Here's the thing. Actually, if you look at from a single perspective, you can achieve almost everything on the forum block. Automated check-ins, a documentation system, smart docs, like even your agendas and your wins, your clients' wins, and etc. Right? But having all these possible inside the forum block in a hackable way, with workarounds, it doesn't make it perfect for each job, right? So you have to find workarounds, you have to tweak it, you have to configure it, you have to have lots of templates and etc. So having niche custom apps tailored to very specific needs would solve those specific needs better, in my opinion. So of course, again, we asked ourselves the same thing when we were talking. We were thinking about automated check-ins, because if you ask your custom clients basically to, hey, please go to forum every Friday, or you just yourself publish a post every morning and ask your clients to submit their comments to that forum post, it becomes an automatic check-in, right? But then automatic check-in has its own requirements, use cases, like, hey, who checked in, who not checked in, and like what's the mood or mood tracking, and like lots of, if we start talking about it, there are lots of very specific also jobs that automatic check-in solves, so which is not possible to solve with forum without workarounds. So that's this is, yes, you can have documents, you can have posts as documents inside the forum. But again, browsing through a documentation system and knowledge base is a little bit different than browsing through a forum, right? Forum is mostly built on top of a recency perception, right? What's the latest thing? But a documentation on knowledge base, recency is not that relevant, like it has its own
like also a tree of hierarchy of like categories and blah, like should be.
Yeah, and also again, true, the knowledge base is more created than a community,
curated, yeah.
A forum. So exactly.
Also the idea of like making what Ed mentioned, it makes sense to. Upcoach is already a quote-unquote complex system because you can do so many things with it, and you can kind of bend it into kind of all shapes and forms. But by making these building blocks, it's like an easier thing. Okay, this is the thing for that. This is the thing for this. And
think about
new comes in, it's easier to put this together.
Exactly. Think about this scenario where we can say, hey, yeah, you can have documents on Upcoach. For this, please drag and drop a forum block and configure it specifically this way, and then do this and then do that. And compared to this instruction set, think about this. Hey, yes, please drag and drop this documentation block. That's it. Like it's easier for us also to deliver features.
Ed, what do you mean by saying a priority for you would be to add a visual screen on top of the habit tracker?
So can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm a very visual person, and the brain also gets more emotional when it sees pictures rather than numbers.
Mm.
And so I don't really have this, like, I tried it for like 2 months. And I just literally stopped thinking about it for myself as the coach, because I was testing all the different tools, and I realized what was missing for me is I wanted to see the visual, like, how am I doing? Am I getting higher? Am I getting
like
lower?
A streak type of thing, kind of seeing a streak.
Yeah, like on top of the numbers, like let's say I have 4 habits I'm changing. There'd be 4 different colored lines. and I would be able to click on which one I could unclick all and just click one at a time to see how I'm doing, or see if there's a trend with all of them together. But just basically a visual plotting of how I'm doing. And I know it gets a little bit more complicated when you say, okay, like, I do one for productivity, 1 to 5, let's say. I don't know if that is the same plotting, like today I was a 2, yesterday I was a 3, today I was a 5. I think it'll work the same for all the different types of habits you can track, but you guys need to figure that out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is like very similar to a block idea that we have on our agenda. David, do you have an agenda open on your screen? Can you share it if it's open?
Yes, I do actually.
There's also, we have a discussion going around this topic. This is the chart metrics, not OKRs, I'd say, but basically mood tracking is a metric tracking, right? Like, how do you feel today from 1 to 5? And then once you have this data, you can plot some charts and represent it visually. I'm understanding you correct, right? This is what you're asking basically.
Correct.
Yeah. So
just the key for me is I'm trying to think in the way that what would attract my clients to come to the portal more often. It has to be emotional, because a lot of people are only motivated by emotions, and the numbers and the text often doesn't do it. But visual stuff, like I have there's a program called Market Plan IO that maps out my funnels. Sometimes I go out there and just look at it and stare at it because it's visual, and it keeps me emotionally involved in what I'm doing, rather than this intellectual data stuff, because it just doesn't keep the same attention for me. And I've been doing this for 25 years, and I have a feeling you're going to get, when you have beautiful visuals, people like want to go into the portal and look at how they're doing overall. I just think
the habit tracker is something on the list to tackle and revamp. It's a little bigger project than a building blocks project, because we cannot really deliver something super good in 2 weeks. So this will be tackled by the core team, but I definitely agree that having streaks, having more visual representation.
But I want to show one thing on the habit tracker. It's a little bit hidden, and you may not know about this, so I want to show it. So this is a test program for me, and you see this. There is this habits. Basically, when you click on these habits, a pop-up opens and shows you like ups and downs for check-ins, and then if it's a metric habit, some tracking, then it shows you a line chart showing what's happening there. So maybe we can put this, like we can talk on this on the product call, but maybe people do not know about this feature at all. But it's there, but it's hidden.
Yeah, the other thing I'll add is, long term, if you think of a dashboard, like at the very top of a portal, and all of your blocks that are tracking things, like I want to be able to look at that dashboard and say, what habits have I changed? What tasks are still outstanding? How many coaching sessions did I do in the last 2 years? Something that visually says, okay, here's a snapshot of everything I've done. If you consider that as part of the overarching theme, I think you'll get like better impact on people.
Yeah.
And better, because I just have a feeling that visual is a huge component of what motivates people.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably research on it, but I know what motivates me, and all the programs I've ever purchased that have really, good visual stuff, that they're much more active. The groups are active.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Ed. Yeah, definitely making things more visible, putting them up front. and showing the progress, the change, the transformation is
Right.
yeah, I agree. Yeah. I'd love to see some examples of screenshots from those courses and programs you saw. Like if you can share them with Brock on from messaging the intercom chat, so we can share it with Emre, our head of product, so he can take a look at those things.
All
That
right.
would be awesome. Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, so yeah, this is the wiki or documentation block idea we have right now, and what other ideas we had, David? Let me check the agenda.
I'm muted. One thing we talked with Dan about is the tracking feature, which kind of goes into somewhat habit tracking / OKR tracking. I think this is definitely something that is also of interest. And then an app gallery block, but this is like probably just something more for us. The idea is that we have a block that lists inside of the upcoach community, lists all the building block apps that we've built. And they could also kind of maybe even act as a gallery if you want to list certain things, you know, just, I guess, yeah, a gallery app block would also be an idea.
Yes. Listing things, right? Basically. Any ideas from anyone here?
I'm not following what you're. I'm not picturing what you're saying. So gallery of
The thing that actually, if I remember correct, this idea came out from someone, I don't remember the name. Someone was complaining on the forum, someone on our forum, someone was complaining about like, it's already too complicated with all these installation links, you know, like they're scattered everywhere. And, you know, it's inside there, each on post and etc. discussion going on in separate posts and etc. And then we thought that, you know, like it would be awesome if in the Learn community, upcoach Learn community, if we had a blog basically before we having or building a marketplace, an app gallery, basically, we can have a block of icons, links to anywhere, basically displaying all the apps that we built so far in there and putting some links for those things. It's kind of like the image block we have right now, but more acts like, hey, here's a document, here is this Lifeline app, Wheel of Life app, document app, and here's the link to the, so we can use the text block for this, but maybe a more visual version would be nice to have also, like just as an idea. Tana is a new knowledge
Is
information.
it Tana.inc?
No, never heard of it.
Yeah, also haven't seen it. This one here, right?
that's it. It's amazing. The product is absolutely amazing. I've used Roam and Logseek and what's the other one that's really popular?
Obsidian.
Say it again.
Obsidian.
Yep, I actually use Obsidian. Tana is incredible, just an incredible tool.
Very visual tool. No wonder you like it.
Actually, it's more of a text-based tagging system, but once you understand how it works, for example, the way I picture upcoach would be just literally a portal. You just pick the client and then you tag whatever you're typing, and it just automatically syncs with Tana. And, you know, this would be more of a strategic partnership rather than a quick block, even though it's probably a very quick thing to build it.
Implement.
I don't think it's going to be too difficult, but here's what you're gaining. You're tapping into a massive audience that's going to grow really quickly when they go public. So from a standpoint of marketing, it could be a part of your strategy long term.
I'm signing up for the beta right now, and I'll definitely check it out.
Nice.
It's where I've been migrating all of my client notes into Tana because I can so quickly just see everything that's been done. I can organize, let's say from a coaching standpoint, I want to track the themes and I want to track the symptoms. And then I can get a really quick summary of everybody I've ever coached and say, what are the themes, which, you know, become my social media posts. It becomes my email sequences. It's like an amazing research document. Once you set it up really well, it allows you to grab data really instantly from anything you're researching.
It also looks a little bit similar to workflowy. I don't know if you
It's in that same
outliner
category. I also have a workflow account. It's in that same category. Yeah.
You know, like I remember I used like before 2010, I was using Omni Outliner and I was so into outlines, listing things, lists and etc. And it was awesome back then. So it reminded me those times.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. This is like that on steroids. I've worked with all of those tools and this one is, it's pretty amazing.
Cool. So what do you want to do next? Want to like look into the OKR?
I've got a question, if that's all right.
Yeah, sure.
So when it comes to these blocks, like let's say the line graph and the other two that, let's see, what are they? Wheel of Life and the lifeline. Currently, from what I understand, those are only available within the program, but I can see like them being very helpful in a smart doc. And embedded into a course and even like if we can embed their results, so we can either embed the activity or we can put in the results, putting it everywhere, you know, like having it in the agenda, because the agenda just sits there while I'm there. And so like anytime I can just go and take a look, it's great. I don't see it, especially like the lifeline chart. I don't see it as valuable as part of a program as I do see it as part of a smart doc or as a course.
Let's do it. Let's introduce the blogs. Where should we start? The courses that make sense for first courses, or what does everyone think? Courses.
Before we start talking about where we are going to implement, there's one thing that I need to add. Actually, there are some coaches are adding the results into the course. Like, as you know, that you can extract as a PDF file to the results. Then after that, you are able to embed those PDF files into the course. There's one thing that I want to remind. And after that, Mert, I'm giving the word to you.
Yeah, but working on the Wheel of Life immediately on the course lesson would be awesome, I believe, right? Yeah, like we can. So again, the goal of we doing this publicly, you know, like building these blogs publicly is to get these kind of feedback so we can improve and also add back to the platform. And also David told me last week the same thing you just shared, James, you know, like, hey, these should be in courses and
everywhere.
I'm always backing you up, David.
So smart documents, it's a little bit a different kind of story. I can
actually let's talk about this, because like with the smart documents, something that makes it difficult for us to work inside of smart documents is a feature that we have that you can go back in time and see what was changed in a smart document. Is anybody using this functionality?
I didn't know it existed.
So basically what happens is that we keep daily change history on the smart document. So if you have a North Star document as a smart document, designed as a smart document, if you make changes to it, and then you can go back in time, and now Heather saying that, wow, that would make smart documents much more useful, but it is like that right now. You can do it. You can go back in time with the smart documents and see how was it a week ago or a month ago or so. But no one knew that, I believe.
I'm ashamed to say that, but I just learned that.
That's even better. Okay.
I'm going to submit a support ticket to you, Brock, to show me how to do this.
So I'll show you now. Like, ta-da! Press this button and see the history of the document. It's just like this little thingy up here.
Yeah, cool.
So the question is, like, how valuable is this? I guess nobody's been missing it because nobody knew it existed. But having this in there makes adding other things to the smart doc fairly complex. For example, I always pushed Mary to, hey, please have a tasks block that I can drag a task block into a smart document, because for my personal use case, it would be amazing to have tasks at the bottom of a smart doc, because my thing here, I have like my mission, vision, values and stuff, and my goals, and I'd like to, like, my weekly plan, I'd like to put in there as task management. But we can't do that, because how do you keep track of the tasks in this history thing, right? And so for us, it would make it way easier if we just like hide this button forever and nobody don't tell anybody that it ever existed, and then we can just like much easier drag in blocks, because like having the lifeline block in there, having the wheel of life in there, now we have to somehow figure out to keep the state of this wheel of life at this time, which is not possible, or possible, but like, it's very hard to do.
I say the fix is just to, when you are inside of a smart doc and you're building the blocks that don't update in that form, tasks, wheel of life, those kind of things, they just have a little thing that says history inside the smart doc is not kept. So we get to the point that we know, or we say that these are features that that will update, because I don't know, I think having it more robust is more important than being able to go back and look and see what happened before. And I don't think all the features need. And I would love. I don't know if you guys, I don't remember where I posted this or where I said it, but if we could take a smart doc and embed a smart doc into a course, or even a section,
a program, just like a program. I'd like to have my program, just like my North Star document, like at the site navigation, just like North Star, you person click on it, and then they just like only see their smart doc. They don't have to go anywhere. It just like boom there.
And so like for one of my my smart docs, I've got like 4 activities that build onto each other. But what would be sweet is if I could say, okay, this section, this activity, I build it separately, but in the same doc, but then I can embed just that section into the course. So they don't even have to go into the smart doc. They can just fill it out inside the course. And then once they submit that, then that opens up the next level of that smart doc.
Yes, like
That's
progressive
pretty good.
smart docs, similar to a course. You fill out the top part, and then you say, "Hey, now have this complete," and then the next thing shows.
Yeah. And
the majority of my
course,
lessons
you have built.
the majority of my lessons at that point, if that was available, would be embedded smart docs inside of my courses.
Partial smart doc embeds.
No, not necessarily partial smart docs embeds, but
Looking,
kind of like breaking down the smart docs into sections, section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4. And then a button like, okay, now I'm done with this. And then also, because also with my North Star document, it's like this giant document, and people get intimidated when they see this, like, holy cow, I have to do all this stuff. And sometimes I have people who are a little over ambitious, and they fill out in the first week, they fill out the entire thing, which is supposed to take 8 weeks, and they're like, oh my God, it was so much work. It's like, dude, I didn't tell you to do that. But yeah, I think this would make a lot of sense to break them up like that. And let's talk with Emma and maybe just remove this history feature, because it just makes it so much easier to manage.
But let's also first look at the numbers on database to see the usage. And so embedding, basically embedding wheel of lifeline into courses would be awesome, I believe. So and other custom apps, not just wheel of life and lifelines, but having as an option that we can, for the next 2 weeks, David, we can, on the side, we can start building a blog. That's okay. But we can also focus on bringing custom blogs to courses. also. That can be a task for us too.
From a technical perspective, I think once we have a custom, a building block, once we have one in there, it's the others, it's not that hard, right? It's kind of almost copy paste from a technical perspective.
Kind of. It's not copy paste because the context is different. I mean, the use case is also different because, for example, we have to provide a course specific context to the custom block because probably we wouldn't want to, just making this up right now, but we wouldn't want people to choose different dates or go to previous dates on the Wheel of Life block, switch between days on the Wheel of Life block inside the lesson. They just want to use it as a form item or something like that. So it's not that technically challenging, but it's not also, of course, copy paste.
Copy paste. Cool.
Yeah.
An easy workaround until it's more embedded is what if you develop the sections of the smart doc and then you had just a little button in the admin that it spits out an embed code. We just utilize the embed code block within the course and that kind of thing.
Sorry, can you tell us again? Sorry.
Yeah. So I mean, to get there quicker than building out everything inside the courses and things like that, the different sections, like if you were able to get the smart docs built into sections, and then we could spit out an embed code for the section or for the whole document, and then we just copy that and paste it into a embed block.
Yeah, but I see your point, but I don't think that it will work because it needs a user context and it has to pass the data to the smart document and smart document from back to course in a secure way. So there should be like a secure communication between that block and so using an embed HTML embed, it's basically will not give you exactly that, you know, like
so you can't run like a query inside of a embed block saying who is logged in.
You can right now we do it, but we use it for third-party integrations. All right, so you can pass the current authenticated user's email address and ID to it, right? But it's not hashed or signed, so the third party cannot be sure that the request is coming from us, you know, like, so it's only used for very rare use cases for simply, but for more advanced use cases like this, I wouldn't follow this way personally. So but we already have a secure system built already for those custom blocks and etc. So we will just apply it on the course area and yeah, like I'll look into smart document sections and talk with Emre about that.
I don't know if this is more of a feature request, but inside of the smart docs, pre-populated tasks lists would be
for sure.
Pre-populated anything in there.
Yes.
It's been like we've been hearing this for so long. Yeah.
Thank you for having my back again. You know, because after
Yeah.
Now I'm wondering if you guys are like know each other or not.
I'll Venmo you later. You know, so
yeah, I appreciate it.
Ed had something, vision, mission, values block, or vision, mission, goals block. I think it's kind of cool as well because I'm with managing happiness. It's a lot about vision, mission, values, and right now for me it's just like a smart document that I'm using. But could you elaborate what this would do? Would this block where like is displayed or where you kind of walk through a series of questions to get to that?
That or just like a template that you drag over and you just fill it out, like on the first intake session, the first coaching session that you do with somebody, and then you can always refer back to it because it's right there in their feed, their personal coaching feed, or their, whatever you want to call it. But I use that every single time, like every single coaching session, I'll say, what would be a good outcome today?
Mm.
And then that gets documented, and then that is my guiding like thing I go to as we're coaching throughout the hour. I keep asking myself, are we still on track, or have we deviated from that particular outcome that they're after? Because in the end, if we don't keep it on track, they're not going to feel like they're getting their value.
I would probably do this especially if it's one-on-one. I'd use the wins block or the questions block. With the wins block, would be, kind of, you could just like put it in and say like, fill in your whatever this session's goal.
Yeah,
Please fill in
vision,
before we
mission,
start.
goal, strategy. That's a different one. That's like at the very beginning of the coaching. That needs to be like a guiding light, a North Star for the whole program that they've signed up for. So I think the other one is a separate like thing. And I put that all
this you can probably, if you use the agenda feature, then it's fairly easy to just like drag in the wins block and kind of like ask the person before they come in, or when you start talking to them, to kind of fill this in. And then this also gets you can see the things people fill into the wins block also in their profile in the CRM, in case you haven't seen it.
Or for the program, maybe you can use a text design block where you type the mission and vision in there, and it's always prominent, visible at the top of the program.
Yeah, that's what I've done. I have vision right at the top, and that's how we start off every meeting. They read their vision statement, and then we look for evidence of it. The evidence is in their feedback, their wins. So then it's all tracked in the agenda. So that's the way I've set it up. I don't know if there's a better way, but that's the way I'm doing it.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, the way I pictured the block looking is it would have vision and then like a collapsible, like goal 1, goal 2, goal 3, however many goals, and then you uncollapse it and that you write, the goals right there, or a description of it. And then, then you would have like, here are 4 areas we're going to focus on, which is the strategy part of it. So each goal would have another subcategory of, here's what we're going to focus on, like here's what's going to move the needle for that particular goal. Right. So it's kind of like a smaller version of collapsible indents. Like we were talking about Tana, and you said you used Workflowy, and then that other tool from Omni Focus or Omni group that did the collapsible areas.
Omni outliner.
Outliner, right? Exactly like that. Only we just put vision, goals, and then we list the goals, and then strategy for each of those goals.
It could be cool if that was something that was ever present. So on every single page that they're at, it's like a little hello bar up at the top. They could maybe toggle it to where it just shows a little piece where they can tap on and always come down, so that any moment while they're in there or while we're in there, we can just pop in and say, okay, what's your goals? Let's revisit this. And so every time they're in, they always have that at their fingertips, because really the goals and their vision, those are the things that they need to be going.
Hello bar app.
This is exactly actually what the document or wiki block idea is. Basically, you can write a document with some bullet points in maybe collapsible sections and etc. It's a static document, but as a coach, you can edit it, update it, and then you embed this document in programs, agendas, or whatever. And once, if you update it, it gets updated everywhere you embed it, right? So I think this
for
is
that user.
For that user, if you embed it inside a one-on-one program, yes. But if you embed it inside a group program, then everybody would see the contents of this thing. So it depends on your usage.
You
I
have
think we're just
multiple versions of the wiki.
Sorry?
Can you have multiple versions so I can have one wiki for one person and a separate wiki for another person?
On the same program?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think that's possible because we already do some very basic personalization right now on the programs, especially in the HTML block. So maybe we can utilize the same thing to show, hey, show this document for this user, this document for this user, or something like that. So they see their own documents at the same place on the program. Yeah, why not?
so
So
many
is
nuggets.
that wiki already created? I'm looking at my portal right now. I'm not seeing where
No.
what.
No.
No, it's
Oh,
not
you're
really. We're
building.
just talking.
Okay, got it.
It's gonna be a lot of Red Bull for Mert to get this done in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I don't drink Red Bull.
Coffee.
Yeah. Yeah, so okay, it's already almost an hour. So far we talked about the status of automated check-in block, and then the documentation block, and then we talked about embedding custom apps, Wheel of Line, Lifeline into courses, agendas, smart documents everywhere basically. And we said that courses are a great start for this. And then we also talked about smart document sections, having sections inside course lessons, and editable as embedded editable blocks. I think that's a brilliant idea, really great. And then, yeah, anything I missed?
Yeah, we didn't talk about the OKR block, but I guess since we're already that progressed in the call, we'll do this next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mert and I will meet tomorrow, and then we'll just like go through this list and spec it out and see how fast can we, what can we execute the fast on, what's the low hanging fruit, and then we'll give you an update and start building that.
Yep.
Mert, did you have pre-populated on that list as well? I know that's not a block. But...
Yeah, I have it on my list, but forgot to tell it. Collapsible sections and show separate documents for each smart document default values. Yes, I have it on my list also. Basically, when you drag and drop a checklist block into smart document, you want to provide a default value for it instead of being empty. Yeah.
That'd be killer.
All right.
Beautiful. Awesome, everybody. Thank you for
Thank
all
you
the
so much.
insights.
Your hard